Ladies and gentlemen, Primetime CP23 here with my final Diablo 3 Season 9 Patch 2.5 starter build. We're going to jump right into it. This is also more of a speed build. This is the build that you're going to use until you get... This is going to be a build that you can use to either complete your level 30 GR solo, or just to farm things like Death's Breaths. This is a much weaker version of a build that you will want to run later on, but this build might help you reach that your final Blessed Hammer build. Starting off here with Joanna's Argument and Guard of Johanna, whatever. This one's going to increase the attack speed and damage of Blessed Hammer by 100%, and Blessed Hammer damage is increased by 215% for the first 3 enemies hit. This is just going to melt some Rift Guardians. Also, the most important thing about this build is probably the Ring of Royal Grandeur, as we are combining 3 set bonuses, 3 separate sets. Starting off with the Akan set, which is the set that Crusaders will start off with in Hadrig's Gift. We are only running the 4-piece set. Full disclosure, the reason why I'm doing this build like this is because I couldn't get the amulet. The Akan set is now a 7-piece set. I believe they just added the amulet in patch 2.4.3. And what the amulet is going to do is it's going to allow you to run the pants, boots, breastplate, shoulders, and amulet, while still running the Sage's Journey set, which will be your helm and gloves. So like I said, ideally we would not be running any blackthorns. Ideally we would be running the 5-piece Akan with the amulet. But like I said, since I have not been able to find the amulet or the gloves so that I could convert the set item, we are actually combining a 3rd set. If we had the 6-piece, then it would deal an additional 600% damage, and you would take 15% less damage, which that would be ideal. But we'll get more into that later. So instead we are running the 4-piece bonus for the Armor of Akan, the 3-piece set bonus for Blackthorn's Battle Gear, which is going to give us increased vitality, increased damage against elites, and reduced damage from elites. It's going to give us 25% extra gold find. And then we are using the Sage's set, as I mentioned earlier, which is going to give us plus 250 to all main stats and vitality. And because we're running the 3-piece set, we're going to get an additional Death's Breath whenever a Death's Breath drops, which is pretty helpful. In order to make this more of a gear / gold farming set / experience farming set, we're using a Hellfire Ring to give us plus 35% extra gold from monsters and 45% additional experience. It drops it down to 4.5% when you hit level 70. We're running an Avarice Band with, of course, Boon of the Hoarder. And we're running a Bane of the Stricken on our Blackthorn's amulet. We are also running the Crusader wrist guards, which are going to grant experience every time we pick up gold, and gold wrap for a whole lot of extra armor. And I believe that is about it. In the cube, we've got... Get over to the cube here. Running a furnace, which actually we're not really going to run because that's a pretty difficult item to farm for. So to make this a little more realistic to early game, let's switch it to Jace's Hammer of Vigilance. In the end game, you are actually going to be running... See if I can find it. Having some trouble finding it. Bear with me. Faithful Memory, which each hit by a falling sword increases the damage of Blessed Hammer by 60% for 10 seconds. When you finally get your... when you finally farmed everything all out, and you've received the 6-piece Faith in the Light set. I don't remember what the exact name of the set is. Let me go look real quick. The full 6-piece Seeker of the Light set. You're going to be using Blessed Hammer, or you can go the other route, which is the route that I actually prefer. Once you get the 6-piece Akan set, you can, of course, get rid of the Blackthorn gear, and you can start running a 6-piece Akan set with the Sage's set, while running Belt of the Trove and running a more bombardment setup that will play very, very similar to your Invoker and or Legacy Nightmares bombardment builds. So let's go ahead and get right into it. This is only a T6 Greater Rift, but this will kind of give you an idea of how the play style goes. So obviously we are running Falling Sword. We're running all kinds of fun stuff, and I completely forgot to go over skills, so we'll do that real quick. Oh, just die already. Thank you. We're using Smite simply to have a generator. Blessed Hammers with the Limitless rune, so that your hammers just keep going around and around and around and around and around. Judgment with the Mass Verdict rune. And we use Judgment because for the Greater Rift pushing variant of this build, you're going to swap out a couple things. You're going to swap out your belt for Blessed of Hull, so that Justice spawns a Blessed Hammer. You're going to swap out your wrists for Gabriel's Vam Braces, so that your Blessed Hammer reduces its refund cost if it hits 3 or fewer enemies. And you're going to swap out the Avarice Band for a... I don't have it with me, but you're going to swap it out for Compass Rose and Traveler's Pledge for the Endless Walk set, so that you're gaining a bunch of armor, or rather gaining a bunch of health, a bunch of damage reduction. So when I hit an elite pack, I Falling Sword into the air, I drop with the Falling Sword, and then as soon as I land, I hit Judgment, and recite my Law of Valor. And then just start spamming hammers. Because that is the quickest way to kill things. And just to speed up this video just a little bit, we are going to go ahead and swap to our Greater Rift pushing gear. Basically, we are just skipping and trying to find elites because we like killing elites. See how fast they go down? I would like to apologize for this video. I'm a little scatterbrained on this one, and I do apologize for that. Just got home from work not too long ago, and I'm pretty tired. In addition to the fact that I have not played just a whole lot of Crusader, so I'm still kind of learning how to play it, and I'm trying to pump out a video for this so that it can be ready for the season. So that this can be just a little guideline for any Crusader players that may be watching my videos. Unfortunately, this build does not really have much extra mobility. It does not have a big horse you can ride around on. Ideally, it would. And I mean, it's possible that you could run Steed Charge instead of Falling Sword until you get a Faithful Memory. But of course, once you have a Faithful Memory, there is no exception. You have to run Falling Sword because that deals a redonkulous amount of damage. Also, I'm sure you could get in there and look around a little bit more and find some alternatives to even having to run the generator, so just keep that in mind, that this is a very, very, very basic guide. There's so much room for improvement, interpretation, however you want to look at it on this build. And Falling Sword, Judgment, Law, Prophet, and spam hammers and kill everything around you. Here we go. Well, that was fun. Of course, a bunch of gelatinous spawns escaped, which sucks, but come on, die, damn it. That was fun. Pylons are not as important. I mean, of course, you always want to hit pylons, but since we're not running Nemesis bracers in this, I mean, they do become much less important. I mean, even with as bad a setup as I'm running right now, you can still see just the pure damage that this build can put out. And it can do fun things. Ah, I missed it. It should be able to do things like jump from here over to that pylon. But I missed the jump. I didn't angle things right. Just go ahead and drop some hammers to kill the things that are chasing me. Not really sure where all the elites are on this level, but okay. More goblins. Gotta kill the goblins. So you can do that sometimes, when you actually hit the jump properly. And there goes the Rift Guardian. Alrighty, so that's gonna do it. When we get back to town here, I will quickly go over the rest of the skills because I think I got distracted. Yeah, Smite, Blessed Hammer, Judgment, Falling Sword with the Part the Clouds rune so that we get stun effects. The stun effect there works with the Hammer Jammers to deal 400% increased damage from Blessed Hammer after you hit something with a stun. Jace's Hammer of Vigilance increases the size of the Blessed Hammers, and then of course Ring of Royal Grandeur. Laws of Valor with the critical rune so that it increases attack speed and critical hit damage. Accurate's Champion with the Prophet rune basically gives us a cheat death as well as increasing damage and wrath regeneration. We're using Fervor since we are using a one-handed weapon. Holy Cause, which increases the amount of damage dealt by my weapon by 10%, and whenever I use whenever I deal holy damage, heals 1% of my life. Limitless, Smite, Accurate's Champion, those are all holy spells. Blend, just for increasing the damage of Blessed Hammer and Justice, which we use Judgment. I'm dumb. But it increases the damage of Blessed Hammer by 20%, and Finery to give us plus 1.5% strength for each gem socketed into my gear. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're getting 15% extra strength just from having gems socketed. And as we've done with the rest of the starter builds here, we've only been using marquee gems as well as very low paragons with only 50 paragons put in there, nothing in strength. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all enjoy Season 10. And I hope you all have enjoyed all of my starter builds. I look forward to creating a lot more starter builds, or rather not starter builds, but rather just more builds as I go along and as Season 10 progresses. So ladies and gentlemen, this is Primetime CP23, and I'm out.